So what I have here before the start of the review is a coupon for Athearn's Big Boy, Challenger, or any Athearn train set. So you can simply take a screen capture of this, pause the video, and snip it out with control or print screen. Take that coupon to your Horizon Hobby participating dealer or online retailer, brick and mortar hobby shop, whatever the case is, and get this discount. A little Christmas gift to you guys to save you some money on maybe a future purchase. And obviously, you'll want to check with your retailer to make sure they're participating in this. But overall, it could save you a few bucks. Now we'll get on to the review of the Athearn Big Boy right now. Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about a soon-to-return steam locomotive, the biggest of its kind, Athearn's Big Boy, number 4014 with an oil tender. Now, Athearn, along with Union Pacific, have been working together a little bit to figure out what the Big Boy will look like when it returns to service. Union Pacific estimated 2019. I hear that date's slipping because of some issues, but overall, Athearn's been working with Union Pacific a little bit on the consulting of this way back when they were doing this. You probably figure a couple years ago to figure out what a Big Boy would look like in service. So, with that said, they then produced this, the Union Pacific 4014 with oil tender, an excursion version. So that's a little bit of a rhyme thing there, but $549.98 is the MSRP on this. You can find it online for anywhere from the MSRP all the way down to the mid-low fours. So I'm not sure on the exact price, but I'll give you guys some heads up on where to find one in the description. But let's go ahead and open this up. Now, we did review the Big Boy a couple years ago, I believe, so we won't cover all the details. We'll make this more of a concise review, but we'll go over what this specific unit has and see how it sounds, starting right now. The massive box is almost too big to get into the frame, so let's unbox this bad boy and remove the foam, and seats packed in there, and we've got warranties going on, the usual. I'm not going to bore you to death. Here's a nice glossy manual. Talks about all of the Big Boys. Talks about the information from the actual locomotive. Exploded parts diagrams of the locomotive and tender, and parts lists and how to maintain and handle some functions. That's what we'll be going off of today. 12 listed. We will, I believe there's more, but we'll only cover a few of those. And CVs, for those of you who don't know, configuration variables, so you can tweak things. Overall, 10-page manual there. Then you have the locomotive, a beast of a locomotive, both in real life and even shrunk down to 1/87th. But let's go ahead and pull this out. Got the protective casing. I don't see anything that's changed. Whew, don't want to lose that. Anything that's changed with packaging, really. If it is, it's minor. So there's the locomotive there. We'll get that Big Boy sat down. And I'll worry about all the positioning on track later. I'm on your time now. Tender. They wrap it in a hard plastic and then a soft plastic to keep the hard plastic from scratching stuff up. Did you get all that? Okay, good. So, all that is how they protect these models and keep them in good shape. So, now we're going to go ahead and couple this together. It's got a little plug. Pretty simple, not going to explain it. It plugs in there, and then this little plastic bracket hooks up there. Easy as pie. We'll do that off camera, and then we will look at some detail. Alrighty then, let's take a look at some detail here. You Got the Union Pacific 4014 shield up front, cow catcher, coupler cut levers. This cow catcher flips around to a dummy coupler that you can use to actually hook up double head. You can replace the coupler as well. I've actually used the dummy coupler to double head before without any problems. Bell, lit number board, smoke box door, safety tread, front headlight with 4014 on both sides there. You've got handrails on the front. You've got the lead trucks. You've got the drivers with all the side rods, detail, safety tread all along the side. You've got the smoke chimneys here. These are accepting Soothe smoke generators. I believe both of them. Let me take a peek. Yep, both should be able to accept Soothe smoke generators, in which you can install and purchase on your own, but it is not smoke equipped out of the box. You've got the domes here, the handrails going along the sides, whistle, more safety tread along the walkway, some warning labels. You've got rivet detail towards the back here. You've got the cab 4014, nicely done. I'm going to go ahead and move this forward so you can see. Really don't like that because it is heavy. So we'll go cab view on here. You've got this little vent here that stays open. It's a little spring-loaded thing in there. Stays open in whatever position you put it in, as long as it isn't too close to closed. But there you have it. Nice rivet detail along the type. Dynamo. Like I said, you've got the doors here, which actually do open. You've got safety tread and a metal plate walkway connecting the locomotive to the tender. Trailing trucks with silver capped trucks there. There aren't any silver caps on these trucks. I'm not sure if UP had consulted with Athearn and said that they were not going to do that, or if it was just kind of a guessing game because the locomotive hasn't come out yet. The other two excursion locomotives do have silver caps all the way back on the tender as well. Another thing I notice is usually there's dual dynamos. I see a single here. I don't know what that's about, but I did see on the Athearn artwork it looked like there might be two. So again, I don't know if they're just not sure what they're going to be doing on the excursion version or not. Kind of like saying that, excursion version. So you've got the dipstick and a lot of detail on the tender as well. What do you notice? Well, it's an oil tender because that's what UP is going to be using. It's all over the internet. That's what they're going with. That's what they're going to convert the big boy to burn, because coal causes both environmental problems that they don't want to deal with, and I heard it kind of catches all the brush along the side of the main lines on fire, and they don't want fires out of control either. So that's what they're going with, the oil tender. So speaking of the oil tender, it's got Union Pacific nice and emblazoned on the side, nice silver, nice details. You've got ladders, you've got wood grain with these three hatches here, and you have the, like I said, the dipstick handrails up here, and a rear operating light as well, along with the non-operating marker lights on the front and back, and you have a coupler cut lever on the back as well. Let's take a quick look at the back, and then we'll get into operation. All right, up close and personal, nice rivet detail. The McHenry plastic coupler seems to hold up to what it needs to. I know there's some concerns on the internet saying they're weak. I haven't had one break. Especially if this is an excursion engine, you're not going to be pulling super long consoles with it. I don't foresee it being a problem. You've got the non-operating marker lights and the handrails there. So lots of cool detail on this. And I think that Athearn has used LEDs on their steam locomotives, both 844, 3985, and now 4014 from the steam locomotives that I've reviewed. I believe they're utilizing LED lights, so that is good for long lasting life, things like that. You've got separately applied grab irons just all over the place in terms of detail. Not a whole lot of molded detail, everything's separately applied. You got your warning labels where they need to be from what I can see. So that's all I'm going to cover in terms of detail. We're going to listen to this, run it under slow speeds, and then wrap the review up, because I've covered most of everything in depth on my other big boy review. So you can always go back to that if you need a longer, more drawn out version, but I did get complaints that my reviews are too long, so trying to keep them a little more concise. Now you may have caught at the beginning that this is a DC version, so by sounds I will only be going over what it sounds like at slow speeds and higher speeds in terms of the drive and how quiet the drive is. As you guys all know, DC versions don't have sound. So we'll go ahead and move this thing under the DC voltage. See, start voltage seems to be right about there at 3.4 volts. Very quiet. See if I can slow it down to a crawl without stopping it. As you also know, DC-C offers a lot more speed control than DC. Yeah, it seems like it's about 3.4 volts or nothing in terms of moving. So there you have its operation front and back. The headlight, as I mentioned in the last review, is a little dim, but not too bad. It almost looks like they put a brighter LED in there. A little hard to tell on this video, and with DC you have to really get it moving in order to see it. But I'll continue to let it back up to where the curve starts, and then I'll gun it forward so you can get a decent glimpse of the headlight quickly. Kill off some supplemental lighting here, which may help you see the headlight. Very hard with DC locomotives to see the headlight brightness, because by the time you're up to speed you barely catch a glimpse. I should probably invest in a set of rollers. But anyway, that is the big boy 4014 in a nutshell. Without sound, DC only, you get to focus in on the details more. But overall, pretty nice locomotive. I don't see any issues. I'm not sure what UP's coming out with in terms of excursion, so I don't know if the 2 dynamos is correct, if all silver trucks is correct. I'm guessing that's the way they're going to do it if they do the other 2 locomotives that way, but who knows. I can't hold a company responsible for incorrect stuff without seeing the actual finished product from Union Pacific, and I need a time machine in order to do that. So just mention it as a bypassing thing on whether or not that's what you're looking for or not. But overall, pretty nice locomotive. They've always done a good job on these big boys. They've always been pretty good pullers. They have drivers with traction tires below. So, well, yep, that third set back here is a traction tire. So, set of traction tires always does good, and the locomotive does good as well. So overall, pretty good job from Athearn on a great pulling locomotive that's just built large and in charge, if you will. So that's about it for the review of the Athearn Big Boy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.